I just bought the most expensive table saw fence, so you don't have to. Now, of course, I'm talking about the Harvey BigEye fence. And today we're going to find out if the most expensive table saw fence is worth every single penny, or a complete waste of money. Today we're looking at the Harvey BigEye table saw fence, the 36 version I'm going to be using because that's the size of my table saw. And I do want to say before I get any further into this video, Harvey did not send it to me, they did not give me a discount, none of the above. I spent my own money, I bought it, and I'm going to tell you about it. And it's an independent review, and the reason why independent reviews are important is because, much like you're watching this video right now, I watched a video on my table saw right behind me. And in that video, it was a sponsored video from a creator I liked and I trusted. And he said that the table saw was really good. Hey, I love my table saw, it's really good. He said the fence is really straight. And he said, once you set it up, you never have to set it up again. That was not true at all. And it got really frustrating for me because I upgraded to that table saw because of the same problem. And I feel like I ran into the issue with this where, you know, it was wearing out and it was very frustrating because my cuts weren't coming out straight on the other end. So I did the only logical thing. I followed the advice of another sponsored video. I spent another extremely large, unreasonable amount of money on another Harvey fence under promises that I'm hoping are true.
So one problem that all woodworkers face with their table saw fence is sometimes there's a little slop on the far end and you can't always trust it to be true 90. But that's not a problem anymore with the rip fence system. It's got dual locking mechanisms on the front and back rail. So once you lock this in, there's no movement, there's no slop on this far end.
Because if they're not, I'm going to be very upset. So with all of that said, if you guys can take a moment and like the video, comment the video, hype the video, and if you want to subscribe to look at some of my other content, you can. So first things first, we got a nice embossed manual, I'm guessing. Good enough is not enough. Now this is the guide rail mounting hardware. T-bolts, drill. Am I drilling holes? I hope I'm not drilling holes. It just comes with a set of Allen keys. Kind of cool. The BigEye rip fence system. That feels really nice. Okay, so depending on your orientation, you can change the height of the table saw fence. I'm going to guess that straight down the middle is going to be the default. It doesn't really say anything about that. I got one right here, so I've just held that one in. Another one, and I got one more. Look at this bolt. The rest of them are pretty easy to get to. I don't know if this is like counter threaded or what. I believe. Huh. A little heavy. Like immediately, it's like I lock it down and it doesn't even move at all. So I was a little bit confused here because there's this little guide here. So for me, it's supposed to be 800. I thought this arrow, this white arrow was part of this. So I was like, what do you mean? Like, I can't move it. Yeah, we're already set up the way we're supposed to. So I guess that kind of takes the claim of it just working out of the box. Looks like they won. They win. All right, so these little blocks are as if you have the extension table. Oh, well, the set screws are on, but they slide on here. This thing, it's just like, it's just straight. I don't know what I just hit there. I hit something here, I don't know what. I think this is actually the better way to do it. Is you slide it in against this little lip here. And now it's just. All right, so we're adjusting the scale now. So what it says is to raise your blade, and then it says to move your fence until it contacts the blade. We are contacting the blade, and then lock it down. We've locked it down. And then it says adjust the scale. So it says 0. There's these little ball bearings over here that make it a little bit tough to adjust, but so I've made it contact, and now we tighten these set screws down. Now we're swapped over to the low side fence. We're gonna pull this. All right, so we have a low side fence over here. So now what we do is we slide this back this way until your line hits 0. As you can see, we are dead on the money. So I took this piece of pine here and I planed the bottom and I planed this side so I can run it flat like so, and it's going to be a perfect cut. We're just gonna set this to 1 inch. All right, so I just quickly made myself a new push block, and that'd be 1 inch. Let's check near the bottom. 1 inch. Near the top. 1 inch. Fantastic. I love it. I love it already. That's 1 1/4 inch. 1 1/4 inch. And 1 1/4 inch. All right, so we're gonna start from this side of the fence. So it comes with a stop at the very end, which you can just flick up and down. It's got a little bit of a force to do, but that stops it from sliding off the edge. So you can leave that up or down. I probably leave it up. It comes with these flip stops. There's 4 of these all together, and you can adjust those quite easily by just using your, let's do this one here. Using this Allen key that they include. And then basically you take, let's say I want to repeat a whole bunch of 2-foot cuts. So, but I gotta go do a different cut right after. So set her to 2 feet. You lock it down, bring this guy down like so. And rub them right up against. And then you just lock it down. And now, you can go up, make a different cut, go back, flip it down, and we're right back where we were at 2 feet. Fantastic. Now, as I mentioned, my biggest complaint was deflection, essentially when I locked down the fence. And as you can see, there is nothing at all. It is like my table saw is, rocking a little bit because it's on uneven surface, but there's no deflection whatsoever. We have a fine adjustment knob here, which works fine. This knob right here in the back essentially adjusts the clamping force when you put your clamp down.
You can adjust a block on the bottom of the fence to match it to the size of your table saw, from a 600mm table saw to a 800mm table saw. Also, I am currently sick and I apologize for my voice. I did a terrible job explaining this in the video though.
Now you would have already seen in the video that there is a high and a low fence, and switching that's as easy as that. When you do switch it, your scale is not going to match, but there is 2 little guys over here, which you also would have just seen. But I'll show you again really quick. If you're set to your low fence, you just take this ruler. It's a little tricky. I need to push from the other side. Run up against that, and now you're set to your low fence, which is pretty cool. Keep in mind, if you got some dust or debris in here, your accuracy may vary, so make sure it's clean before you put it back. You can adjust this if you need to with the 2 set screws here. The viewfinder glass here is very nice. It is extremely clear, and there's not much. I feel like there might be a little bit, but there's really not much parallax at all between different angles that you're looking at it from. I feel like that's 8. So I'm looking at it from the side. You guys are looking from it straight on, and yeah, that's 8. The clamping mechanism works very well. Not part of it. I was able to get my router table piece in here pretty easily using the T-bolts that are included. There's quite a few extras just in case you have the full-length table. Now, there was one issue with this, but I'm going to talk about all the good things and then I'm going to end on the terrible thing. All right, so the fence, after I installed it, it ran smooth. Butterily smooth. The instruction manual has very detailed maintenance directions. So I'll try to keep on top of that. I'm pretty terrible with maintenance stuff, but I'll try to do my best. The fence itself has all these T-tracks, so making jigs for this is going to be really easy, which is nice. Packing of the materials, all the stuff in it was good, and installing it was really easy. Actually, way easier than installing the original fence, because you have the bolts mounted in this on T-tracks and you just place it in. It'll hold itself up and then you do all your bolts. Much easier, very easy. Now, at least on the native table saw that this is built for, it fit perfectly out of the box. This is 90 degrees, and setting up the fence, everything was super easy. So I'm actually very impressed with the build quality of this. However, there was one issue, and I'm gonna reach out to Harvey. I'm gonna see what they say. I haven't done it yet. This right here is a connection rod, which essentially is supposed to I guess, hold the fence together more square. I find without it, when you don't have a stop down, I make it the other side. Just fine. No issues there. When I did put this on, I did run into issues, and it was essentially pulling this in way too much and just not working. I probably could have come up with a solution and fixed that, but you guys would have already seen in the video a little bit, but you know, we're just covering our bases. This moves really easily. Just fine. And to show that it's not this, like either direction with just my grip on it, I make no progress whatsoever. Now there's a little hole in the middle, so if I take an Allen key and I run it through, and I have something a little bit more stable to hold on to, I might be able to get this moving. This is way too much effort to be putting in for this. I do not have it on my table saw fence, so hopefully that doesn't cause issues. But as of right now, there are no issues with that. So aside from that little thing, I think it's very well made. It's a very nice table saw fence. It was square out of the box. So the guy who said that on that 731 Woodworks video, he was accurate, at least when talking about a Harvey table saw and using it. Overall, I think it is a very good table saw fence. It is the best table saw fence that I've used. Is it worth $1,800? No. It's usually on sale for like $1,500, and I've also seen it on sale for $1,000. $1,000 is much more reasonable, I think. I don't think it's overpriced, for sure, but it's good, and I'm excited to use it. Those are my opinions. That's what I think of it. And I guess there's nothing else. I will see you in the next one.